All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you. It is 9 minutes with me, IGTV, YouTube, and Facebook, and we are brought to you by the Brewerton Diner, the official diner of the ML Sports Platter. Make sure you get there if you're in and around Central New York. They've got the beautiful Brewerton Benedict with the bacon gravy over that Texas toast, couple of over easy eggs. I would add ham to that, of course. And they've got the awesome lunch items as well, from the Philly steak to the Hero to the Reuben. And you can get chicken and waffles every Tuesday at the Brewerton Diner as well. The official diner of the ML Sports Platter. We're going to be giving away Syracuse basketball tickets all year long as well. So make sure you stay tuned to the Brewerton Diner and myself on Facebook. We're going to be doing those giveaways and all the rest. So go like the Brewerton Diner on Facebook and check out everything there. And you can come to the diner. You can sign up and try to win some tickets. Our next giveaway will be the Moorhead State game for Syracuse here in the not too distant future. We are also presented by Bryant and Stratton College, as well as Welch and Company Jewelers and our good friends from Timberbanks Golf Club, the only Nicholas design in New York State. Get your 2019 Timberbanks membership today. For more, log on to timberbanks.com. This is a Syracuse sports video. We're going to spend the next 8 minutes or so talking about the recent success of Syracuse athletics, specifically tailored to three teams, which is the men's basketball team, the women's basketball team, and the football team. They're actually one of two schools in the entire country for Division I to have those three units in the top 25. Now, look, Syracuse's other sports are doing really well in addition to, when you take a look at the Syracuse men's soccer team, they beat the number one team in the country this year and showed some strides, even though the ACC tournament didn't go as well as they had hoped. A lot of the other Olympic sports have been very, very good the last couple of years. But these three teams ranked in the top 25, tell you what, in my opinion, that's a big deal. Quentin Hillsman's done a hell of a job for the Syracuse women's basketball team. But in addition to this, really the big one is the football team. I mean, when Syracuse joined the ACC, it was a straight-up football move. Now, they could have easily stayed in the Big East and then had their football team go compete in the AAC. They could have had a lot of different options, of course. But as I said for a long time on radio, you don't want to be that guy standing on the corner of the street when the bus comes without an umbrella. Well, guess what? Syracuse's umbrella was the ACC. I mean, the Big East was completely and utterly imploding, and it was a football, basketball situation in the Big East when the heyday was there. It was great. The basketball was phenomenal. Miami, Virginia Tech, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, you name it. Great. But it wasn't the same conference. There were a lot of other sort of nomad basketball programs kind of coming in, Midwestern teams, Marquette, Louisville. It was just not the same Big East. And, of course, you had teams flocking for the ACC dollars, like Virginia Tech, like Pittsburgh, and Miami, of course. The football team now under Dino Babers, year 3, he said belief without evidence. Dino Babers tried to tell us, look, we got to bake the cake. The cake is in there baking. All the cliches he was using as the team lost 5 in a row last year and 4 in a row the year before. I was still a big Dino Babers believer. I was still hanging in there for him because I know absolutely positively that when you hire a head coach, you've got to give him 3 years in college football. I don't care if he's coaching Syracuse, Wisconsin, Wake Forest, Alabama, USC, Texas, or Michigan. You've got to give a guy 3 years. There's no question about that. Well, here we are to year 3 in Syracuse. I think we're going to look back and have North Carolina be basically the win of the year, the game of the year, where it could have gotten out of control and Syracuse loses at home to an inferior opponent for their 3rd straight loss. Instead, they win that game, build confidence for the week after, and trust me when I tell you, even though every game in college football is about that week and that week only before you get to the next week, by the same token, 1 week when you win and you mentally hold on and you don't lose to a team and you don't lose a 3rd time in a row and you don't have 2017 and 16 creep back into your head, if you're a college football player or a head coach like Syracuse, in terms of losing those games in a row back-to-back years, that's a huge thing because then they propelled the momentum into the next week and beat NC State at home, a top 25 team, which then propelled Syracuse into the top 25, ranked number 22 by the AP and ranked number 24 by the coaches and ranked number 19 in the college football playoff picture, which is absolutely terrific, and I think a moment that a lot of SU fans have been waiting for. It's been a moment that I've been waiting for. Certainly somebody who grew up as a Syracuse fan, has covered the team for a long time as well. I'll be at the Louisville game on Friday doing some media coverage, some interviews, and all the rest, so definitely stay tuned to that. But this is just a great, great opportunity for Dino Babers and his team to win at least 2 more games, finish 8-4, and get to a bowl that is not one that includes mediocrity. I mean, 8-4, you're in a really nice, legit position to play late December. And you look at this team, how great does the future look? That defense is young and flying around right now. They're going to be even better next year, in my opinion. You take a look at the offense. You've got Tommy DeVito taking over for Eric Dungy. You've got Taj Harris. You have Nykeem Johnson. You have a tremendous recruiting class, in my opinion, coming in next year. Again, underbelly, depth, balance, all 3 phases of the game. They picked up a great kicker in Andre Schmidt. You got a situation going on here where you have a quarterback in a quarterback world, an offensive world of college football, and frankly, the National Football League. I think Tommy DeVito is going to be an NFL quarterback. Things are looking very, very nicely for the Syracuse football team. By the same token, you've got the Syracuse men's basketball team as, I think, a Final Four contender. There is nothing that this team doesn't have from length, speed, balance, depth, scoring, 3-point shooters, veterans in the backcourt, veterans overall, youth, great freshman class, a nice transfer with Elijah Hughes. Jim Boeheim's got a lot to play with here in terms of this basketball team. And I remember a couple years ago when the sanctions were still going on and Syracuse was losing scholarships because of the Fab Melo situation, and I had phone call after phone call after phone call, tweet after tweet after tweet with this comment: Syracuse is the next Boston College. Well, in what? Football or basketball? As it turns out, BC was down for a bit. Of course, everybody goes down for a bit. It's cyclical. It takes a lot for somebody to be down for a long time or up for a long time. But BC is now in the top 25 in football. And their basketball team was actually pretty competitive the last couple of years with a couple of dynamic shooters from the outside. Syracuse is the next BC. Even if BC was staying in the toilet or is what they are now, Syracuse becoming the next BC, give me a break. All you need is one more recruiting class to just completely flip the script, especially in basketball. I think in football, you probably need 2 or 3 to improve your status and turn things around. But in college basketball, all you need is 1. And oh, by the way, 2 years ago when Syracuse fans were saying this, some of them, not all of you, but some of them, you realize that Syracuse went to a goddamn Final Four with Malachi Richardson and Tyler Lydon in 2016, a team that just squeaked into the tournament. Of course, the tournament in the Bahamas, I thought was the Battle for Atlantis was probably the tournament that helped them the most because they got the out-of-conference wins against UConn and Texas A&M. But come on, man. Even when fans were bitching that the recruiting wasn't good enough and that they were going to be the next Boston College or the next doormat of the ACC, they were still going to the NCAA tournament, and then they went to a Final Four, and hello, last year they made the Sweet 16 as well when they barely got into the tournament. So do not ever predict the demise of a major university or college in relatively decent sports until it's really, really there. Predicting a demise is very dangerous territory, especially when the team has had success. The college and university is very, very well known. They have a lot of riches. The recruiting classes, I'm telling you, it only takes 1 or 2, and away we go. And Syracuse has got some major players this year and in the coming years already committed. So things are looking very, very nicely right now for Syracuse. If you're an Orange sports fan, the time is now to get super excited. We'll see if Syracuse can maybe even upset Notre Dame, mini upset BC a little bit here, although I think now that's not even a mini upset. It's probably a toss-up game. 8-4 is the record that I'm targeting. See if the men's basketball team can make a run in March in a few months as the season starts here in just a couple of days. I'm Mike Lindsley, 9 Minutes with Me, IGTV, YouTube, and Facebook. A big thanks to Brian Conboy of Mass Mutual, New York State. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.